Previously on the Red Wing.
These are programs for every single New Yorker. These are not programs that are going to ask the immigration status of any one of the children. All of those children are New Yorkers. They should all be enrolled in pre-K and 3K, no matter where they were born or where they come from. And we are also proud to be a sanctuary city. What a sanctuary city means is that we have policies in place, policies that have existed for years in this city, that deny ICE agents access into schools, hospitals, city properties, or even the properties of city contractors, unless those ICE agents can present a judicial warrant signed by a judge. We know that the vast majority of the time, ICE agents are not presenting that kind of documentation. If they're presenting any documentation, it tends to be an administrative warrant, and oftentimes there isn't any documentation even provided. So we want to make clear the rights of every New Yorker that they have.
Many unbearable moments later.
In December, I was asked about my thoughts on the prior administration's policy. And I said that I thought that that policy was a failure. On January 5th, soon after coming into office, I made a decision with my team to put a pause on that prior administration's policy as we started to develop our own policy that would generate far better outcomes for the city. And so the policy that we have developed has a number of important distinctions. Unlike in the past administration, where much of the interaction with a homeless New Yorker was defined by the first day when you'd provide a notice and the seventh day when you'd initiate a sweep, in our administration, every single day of that time period will be characterized by outreach. Our administration will meet those homeless New Yorkers every single day, and we will meet them looking to connect them with shelter, looking to connect them with services, looking to connect them with a city that wants them to be sheltered and indoors and warm and safe.
Rented an apartment in New York only to find yourself not just paying rent, but application fees, amenity fees, credit score checks.
Liar!
In a city filled with old buildings that could use some tender loving care, some landlords are taking advantage of the housing market to gouge tenants with outrageous fees.
Liar!
All while leaving them trying to survive in homes with collapsing ceilings and sinking floors. It's time for that to change. We need a citywide crackdown on rental ripoff. We need to take on the indignities from those landlords who demand more than their fair share. That's why our administration is organizing a series of rental ripoff hearings in every borough. This is a chance for you and your neighbors to speak directly with us about how you're getting ripped off. For the first time, our city is bringing this discussion directly to you. And it's only just the start. We're excited to share more information about these hearings soon. In the meantime, start taking notes so you can share with us how you're getting ripped off.
New Yorkers are now living among mountains of trash. 11 days after the Manhattan snowstorm, the streets remain buried under piles of garbage, and the city government has done little to fix it. Many residents say the city is slowly turning into an open-air landfill. Filthy black snow, garbage soup flooding the sidewalks, ice rinks on every corner, cars buried like fossils, people slipping, breaking ankles, no one shoveling, no one salting, no one doing anything. This is New York City, 3 minutes from the mayor's house. Under Mayor Mamdani, the city that never sleeps is becoming the city that never sweeps. Towering 8-foot-high piles of rat-infested trash are choking the streets around Gracie Mansion, while the mayor's residence appears to receive spotless white-glove treatment. And yet, Mamdani publicly claims he can't imagine how things could get better, even as more and more New Yorkers express anger over what they see as a complete failure of responsibility and basic civic duty. On the Upper East Side, residents are still forced to trudge through garbage-covered streets, dodging rats and walking past snowbanks soaked with dog urine a full week after Winter Storm Fern. This is not just neglect. This is a breakdown of leadership.
I really just had to stop and record this because this not crazy. Bro, it's shit everywhere. I only walked like 2 blocks and it's shit everywhere. Like, I cannot make this up. This shit don't make no sense. Hold on, because this not even... This a cleaner part. Let me get back to...
Bro. This sidewalk is filled with shit. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm scared I'm gonna step in it. But y'all, I ain't never seen
Frantic, we are hearing a song. Come here.
I think we burning off the fence and stuff.
Yeah. I never thought in my life he's gonna be here hearing this in the middle of New York. Good.
MashaAllah, you could hear the Adhan blocks away.
Let me assure you, nothing about this is typical. That's why our solutions won't be either. There are two paths to bridge this gap. The first is the most sustainable and the fairest path. This is the path of ending the drain on our city and raising taxes on the richest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations. The onus for resolving this crisis should not be placed on the backs of working and middle-class New Yorkers. If we do not fix this structural imbalance and do not heed the calls of New Yorkers to raise taxes on the wealthy, this crisis will not disappear. It will simply return, year after year, forcing harder and harsher choices each time. And if we do not go down the first path, the city will be forced down a second, more harmful path. Faced with no other choice, the city would have to exercise the only revenue lever fully within our own control. We would have to raise property taxes. We would also be forced to raid our reserves. To balance the budget as required by law, our preliminary budget takes the only path within our control, the second path. The options of the second path are the options of last resort. Options that we will only employ if there is no other means of arriving at a balanced budget. Is ensure that they remain as they are so that the city can be on firm financial footing. However, in order to get to this point of closing the gap on both this fiscal year and the next fiscal year, we are forced to raid the rainy day fund, the retiree health benefits trust reserve, and to increase property taxes across these other years.
Donnie proposes cutting NYPD budget, canceling 5K new officer hires. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani is looking to get the Big Apple on a tighter budget and seems to see cuts to the New York Police Department, NYPD, as a way of getting the city back on track. Mamdani's predecessor, Mayor Eric Adams, proposed at the end of his term that the city hire 5,000 more NYPD officers. However, upon entering office, Mamdani moved to cancel all orders signed by Adams following his September 26, 2024 indictment. This included the proposed NYPD personnel increase.
To close this episode of the Red Wing, I just wanted to read this tweet from House of Yogi because I thought this was incredibly profound. Shouts out to this account. Some of the most egregious taxes in New York City. NYC is one of two places in America that taxes you for paying rent on your own business. 6% of your lease just for existing below 96th Street. You pay a 2% tax just to record the paperwork on your mortgage, buy a $600K condo, hand the city $13,000 at closing. They generously kick in $30. The mansion tax kicks in at $1 million. In NYC, that's a one-bedroom in Brooklyn. You're not buying a mansion, you're buying a wall and a door. Freelancers get double taxed. The city charges you 4% as a business and taxes you again as a person on the same income. Partial credit back if you're lucky. NYC invented a tax bracket where the middle class pays a higher effective rate than billionaires. It's called benefit recapture, and almost nobody knows it exists. A $300 a night hotel room costs you $360 after NYC stacks sales tax, occupancy tax, and a flat daily surcharge on top of each other. I have experience with that. Drive into Manhattan, $9. Take an Uber through Midtown, $1.50 surcharge. Take a taxi, $1.75. Walk, free for now. You pay a federal income tax, state income tax, and city income tax. 3 governments, 1 paycheck, 0 say on how any of it gets spent. The commercial rent tax was created in 1963 because the city didn't have an income tax yet. They got the income tax. They kept the rent tax. NYC charges a tax when you record a mortgage, a tax when you transfer the property, a tax if it costs over $1 million, and a property tax every year thereafter. 4 taxes on 1 apartment. But you tell me how it's good. Congrats. You voted for this.